Hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. I hope you woke up blessed. Just a quick vent, dude. Who has rights to a property, man? Who has rights to property and housing? Like in Germany, they have this. I think it's called the Human Dignity Law. It's like the First Amendment in their Constitution. Everyone has a right to a home and a property. And I don't know what the property tax situation is over there, but everyone has a right to a home and a place to live and food. So when things like the scam with the USDA in earlier this year in late spring, when they set out that totally bogus report about crops were going to increase, corn crops were going to increase 2% over last year, and soy was going to decrease, when it was exact opposite. When like what was planted, 60% of the corn that has been planted is scrappy, is not going to yield very much at all. And then 60% of what's planted isn't going to yield much, and then like 30% didn't get planted at all. I guess thousands of small farmers lost their farms because of insider trading, just like that Trading Places movie in the 80s, directed by or produced by Aaron Russo, of all people. Alex Jones might have been a bit of a wackadoo, but that interview he did with Aaron Russo was super, super, super insightful. That told a lot. And I think it's still on YouTube. Aaron Russo produced those movies. I think he might have even produced Coming to America, but he definitely did Trading Places. And it's about insider trading on the agricultural market. Who owns property? I think it's the people that, first of all, have paid on it throughout their lives, who work it, who maintain it, who build it up. Those are the people. That's the person who has right to a property. The banks, I mean, because of a piece of paper, if shit's been paid, if the money's been paid, property taxes gotta go, yo. And the IRS, look, I'm all down for paying taxes if you can prove to me that my money is going to build up the infrastructure, to pay the firemen, to pay the police department. Why is it that we get calls for donations to the police and fire departments because they're underfunded? What the fuck, you know what? And then mayors and governors and these paper pushers, they get so much money and total benefits, and it's just psychotic. The system is psychotic, upside down and backwards. And when I was growing up in Alaska, in my small town, the community council, I gathered a few times a year to discuss issues of infrastructure, primarily in education, or the schoolhouse, which was part of the community infrastructure anyways. They were all members of the community. They didn't just hold seats on the council. Okay, it wasn't a paid position. It was people who lived and worked in the communities in different aspects of the community who volunteered to do this, and the community would vote, on the president of the community council. But whatever, anyways, none of them were paid, and the decisions they made were made because they understood what needed to be done and how it needed to be done, where the difficulties were in the communities and in the community, and what the issues were. And they had a direct stake in it. Politicians these days don't have a direct stake in anything going on in the community. They get there, it's their job just to sit in that chair, and they sit around with the other people in other official positions, and they act and think like they're part of the community, on top of the community, above the community. And they do, and because they're separate from it, and they're not down. 90% of the political community is not participating in the homeless shelters, in the potholes in the infrastructure, in the city planning, in the building up of the community. And there's a detachment that takes place, and they make really good money, and they don't have to be attached, and there's drama, and they can make more money if they pull out and have a distance from the community, because there's less accountability. They're only accountable to the people that are paying them for stuff they want. And well, what I'm saying is all public officials should be have their stake in the community. And I don't mean like big corporations. Big corporations are another issue, a big part of the problem. Big corporations, international corporations, big part of the issue. Check it out. Here's the thing. Oh boy. Why is gold and silver important as money? And this all ties together. And gold and silver are important as money because they limit government's ability to make war, and they limit central banks' ability to manipulate currencies and markets. Those two things are the root decay of our society that feed all of the noxious fucking industries and lifestyles. Is the manipulation from the financial end and the political end. And look, how do we put a stop to that? How do we put a stop to that? Well, first of all, we demand a trace on our tax plan. Like, I'll keep paying taxes if just please prove to me, show me where it's going. Prove to me that it's going to fill the potholes, that it's going to rebuild the roads and the bridges, and that it's going to put good teachers in the school. And let's talk about the schools, okay? God, that's another issue. Take education into your own hands, educating your children. If they got to go to the school, send them to school, but get involved in their education. And look at alternative sources to what other than what the schools are offering you. Get your money out of the banks, get into precious metals. There's a wealth confiscation coming, and learn how to grow food. This is important too because stuff is changing. But we've got to take back our sovereignty. Why was it in the Old West that people who had a disagreement could go out in the street and have a duel and shoot each other dead in the street, and the sheriff was standing there watching? It's because everyone understood back then that we had sovereign rights as individuals, and then we eventually, through manipulation and subversion and coercion, sold out our individual sovereignty to the government, which was said it would consolidate the sovereignty of the people. But then the government sold out its sovereignty to the banks, and now what's going on? Okay, man, stuff is happening now. Because the lies and the manipulation, it's a mismanagement of natural energy, and it can only go on for so long, before it corrects itself. And whether you believe in God or not, that's provable. That's facts. That's science. That's what it is. It's energy. Even the stock markets are energy. Listen to who's Greg Manarino. I listen to him a lot, but he describes. He says, "Man, the movement of the markets is a movement of energy, and that's what it is. When you earn money, you've committed energy to earning that money. You've worked for it, and you put your energy out into a thing to bring that money in, and there's this trade-off of energy, and everything's made up of energy, and you understand this. And this whole cycle is we trade our energy, we invest our energy into this paper money, which we trade for things, and instead of investing our energy into character development, community development, and true knowledge. So it's a misdirection, and so that's how they maintain control, is by misdirecting our energy and making us think that this financial system is necessary, and that it actually works, and that it's a logical thing that they've put together, when it's just a heist of the centuries, stealing people's lives away, breaking apart families. It's just an awful, wretched, disgusting, beastly, sickening, psychopathic system they've put together to manipulate and control, and it's really repulsive, and it's coming to its end, praise God. Unfortunately, the Kraken does not die quietly. Leviathan will not go out without a roar. It's the power is not conceded willingly, and well, here we go. So, but I just had to get that off my chest. I hope you all got something out of this video. I love you very much. God bless you. I thank you very much for tuning in. This was Crazy Talk with the Bipolar Christian. Y'all are wonderful. Oh, shoot. Before I shout out, I was going to do this at the beginning of the video, but I got worked up a little bit. So I'll also do it at the beginning of my next video. Okay, hold on. I gotta find it, and I'll get more next time. This is people that have just commented to Crazy Talk videos. Here we go. So shout out, thank you very much, Megan Sousa, V, NDE Awakening, newer account, Carly P, Centrace 13, UFO Guy, Spaceman, David Roberts, Chrissy H, and there are many others. It's just who I've got right at the moment. Love you very much. Thank you all for tuning in. God bless you, and I will see you on the next episode of Crazy Talk. Peace and courage with you all.